speed race, CB speed race, hop in the range, take off into space.
Hey guys, it's cbgray coming to you guys live with another Destiny video. How are you guys doing today? So in today's video, guys, I have a pretty long video for you, but it's going to be hopefully pretty helpful, and just instead of having a bunch of smaller videos talking about all of the little things that you can do within Niobe Labs mainly, I want to just bring one video together of all the most important things that have gone on this week and what you need to know just in case you may have missed some of this information. So we're going to have timestamps for everything we're going to be covering. I know you guys probably are busy and you might not have time to watch everything, and I do appreciate you guys stopping by, so click on whatever you need to click on to watch. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy, so definitely leave a like if you do, and let's get into it. So the first thing we're going to be discussing is Niobe Labs, and this is something that obviously didn't go 100% according to plan for Bungie, but we're just going to stick to how to beat it if you do want the emblem and ghost. So make sure that you guys are following along, and if you need to slow down the video at any point, make sure you do that just to make it easier. So before you can even start the mission for Niobe Labs in the Torment, you're going to need to complete 3 puzzles. So I'm going to put these puzzles up on the screen, and I'm just going to give a quick little pro tip as you're going through this. If you are on console, it's going to be very hard to beat step 1 solo, so I really do suggest that you bring your friends. It's going to be required throughout this whole encounter that you have the Tautara's Gaze, also the Hammerhead and the Spiteful Fang, as these are going to be weapons that you're going to be shooting symbols that you can only see through these scopes as you're doing these different encounters, and so just make sure you have those handy and ready to go. So much for subbing. This is the one that me and Gypsy were arguing about. Yep, missive, then rose, and then water.
Water.
There it is. Alright, let's start this mission. Once you complete all 3 puzzles and hear 3 bells, it's safe to drop down low and scan a blue glowing box that will start the Niobe Labs mission for you. Once inside, there will be 7 levels to Niobe Labs that you're going to need to complete if you do want to emerge victorious, and each time that you finish a wave of enemies and a boss or multiple bosses, you're going to need to type in a code in a very quick period of time, or else you'll have to wipe and start over from level 1 again. And so the only bits of advice that I can give for this is to make sure that you're killing enemies as fast as possible and prioritizing saving time and making sure you guys are coordinated and ready to go on who's shooting what on different codes so that you have as much time as possible. Also, when you're on step 3, I recommend that if you are the LMG shooting fire, shoot a little bit early and don't stop shooting so that it doesn't get janky when it comes to the timing of all 3 symbols being shot at the same time. I found on my fire team when I was doing this, I was saving us a little bit of trouble, and it just was a headache on day 1 trying to get this to work. I'm sure some of you guys saw on stream, it just wasn't fun. So make sure you do that little pro tip to make step 3 a little bit easier. Other than that, just follow along on these puzzles, and if you need to slow it down, definitely do that to make it easier, and we'll be back in just a second. The next thing we're going to talk about is the Bergusia Forge and how to actually beat it, and just some pro tips on that as well. So even if you don't have the other forges unlocked, you'll actually be able to still participate in this forge, which I think is really cool. Another thing to note is that you can complete any of your powerful frames here, and we're going to talk about some special things that are going to be dropping if you do those things later. But for now, let's talk about how to beat it, what power level it's going to be, and the different locations of the drones as well. So it's going to be 650 power, and that's going to really hurt, especially if you're anything lower than I'd say 640. So make sure you're grinding up your light, or at least have some powerful guardians with you to kind of help alleviate that load. Also, these are going to be the locations of the 2 drones, so make sure you follow this along to make sure you can shoot these when you actually need to on the Izanagi's burden quest step that we'll talk about a little bit later. So lastly guys, the other thing to note is once round 2 starts, you're only going to have about 30 seconds to beat it in terms of the start time. Obviously you can boost this time up if you kill more blue enemies, and that's exactly what I recommend you do. Make sure that you're not prioritizing throwing the balls at first, but getting your time up to about closer to a minute so that you're really comfortable on level 2 and not scrambling to beat it right before the time runs out. I recommend the first minute that you're doing round 2, you're only killing blue enemies and not really focusing on throwing the balls. Lastly, once you get to step 3, you're going to be fighting a spider tank, and there's not really much to this guy. He reminds me of an old Cosmodrome spider tank from Destiny 1. All that you're going to want to do is jump up here like so, and I'm actually hoping that Bungie does fix this, but as of now they haven't. And if you just hop back in this little area, especially if you have a well and Whisper the Worm, this will be super easy. And even if you don't have a well, you can whisper the boss down super quickly, even if there's just one of you that has the whisper. It doesn't even require you to all have it, and that's really all there is to the Bergusia Forge. Next on the list, I want to discuss an exotic sniper rifle that may have been one of the main sources of reasons why you're actually playing this DLC. So we're going to be talking about how to actually get it. So that mysterious box that may or may not have been in your inventory that you were wondering what was going to come from it, it's actually going to be the Izanagi's burden. So we're going to start off by talking about on how to get your mysterious box. So you're going to want to head over here to where Valunder's Forge is and just drop down on this cave, and this is going to be where you get your mysterious box. So once you receive your mysterious box, you're going to want to get your first 3 keys by doing the first 3 forges, and between round 1 and round 2 you're going to want to shoot 2 secret drones, and I'll show you the locations to each and every one of these to make it easier on you guys. Shoot both of these, you don't even need to beat each of the forges, and then just collect the chest at the end of each one of the forges like so, and then you'll be able to get your hands on the first 3 keys. Next on the list, guys, you're going to want to talk to Ada, and you're going to get your Black Armory key mold, and after that you're going to go on a series of different quests in order to essentially get your 4th key and to construct it where we can actually get the Izanagi's burden. So the first thing you're going to do is actually kill 24 Watchers, and it does say to kill every single one of the Watchers in the Leviathan underbelly, but luckily you don't need to do that, which is great. So what you're going to actually need to do is just farm the same ones over and over if you want to save some time. So before we move on from this step, I want to show you guys how to get into the underbelly just to make that easier for you guys. So let's take a look at how to do that. After you finish this step, guys, you're going to want to collect glimmering amethysts, and to do that it's going to be a little bit annoying. The best way to do this, I'd recommend, guys, is farming strikes, particularly the earth strike that has the taken on it, and you can get that done in about 5 minutes. Once you finish that, you're going to want to do it 9 more times. It'll be a total of 10 times to get this step done, and I assure you that this is one of the fastest methods of doing it. Next on your list, you're going to want to get the 2 drones on the Bergusia Forge. Now I know I showed these locations earlier, but I'm going to show them one more time just in case anybody came to this part of the video from skipping, so you can fast forward a little bit ahead if you don't need this step. But this is where the 2 drones are located within the Bergusia Forge. Shoot these 2, and then you don't even need to actually beat the forge. Just collect your chest once you're done with the encounter, and you will get the final key. After that, you're going to want to stop by Ada, and this next step is going to be pretty annoying if you weren't able to get the warning ahead of time to save one of Ada's rare bounties. And if you're wondering what a rare bounty is from Ada, they can drop from daily bounties, or they can even drop from normal forges as well, but it is a very small chance. You're going to want to stick to grinding daily bounties, so try to stack up a ton of dailies and hopefully you'll be able to get one to drop. These are all of the different rare bounties that are available, so check in your inventory and see if you have any of these, and if you do, you'll be in luck. Finish that and you'll finish this next step of the quest. After that, guys, everything's going to be really straightforward. The next thing you're going to want to do is complete the Shattered Throne. I recommend bringing a fire team for that, as it's not very easy to do alone, especially if you haven't done it before. After that, you're going to have a special version of the Pyramidian Strike, which is also not going to be fun because it's 640, it's Solar Singe, Heavyweight, and Extinguish, which means that if you die, you are going back to orbit just like the old school Nightfalls in D1. Lastly, you'll beat a special mission in the Bergusia Forge where you defeat civics, and then after that you will get your Izanagi's burden. And so I know you guys may also be wondering, isn't there another exotic that's available? And you'd be correct. There's also the exotic fusion rifle Jotunn, and you can also get this in a very similar way that you can get the Le Monarch. It's going to be from Powerful Frames, and it is dropping from the Bergusia Forge. Now, can it drop from other forges? I've heard very scattered things, but for the most part I would recommend sticking to Bergusia Forge. Have a powerful frame in your inventory and hopefully you'll be able to get it to drop. If not, don't fret, keep at it. After the reset, you'll be able to grab more powerful frames. You can get those from saving up your bounties and then turning in 7 weeklies and getting a ballistic log, or by completing a couple different forges and you'll get a ballistic log from your other weekly as well. It's easy to get them and not too hard, so don't stress. Each week you'll have multiple attempts, so hopefully you'll get it soon. The last thing that you may have noticed is that you have an item in your inventory called the mysterious Datapad that has a riddle, and you might be wondering what in the world you need to do to solve that. Well, look no further, just go to Niobe Labs, go under the level where that box is where you start the mission, and there'll be a lever in the back. Pull that lever and you'll be able to get started. Once you do, you're going to want to shoot these symbols in the code, and once you do, you're going to start the encounter. Once you do, you're going to fight a couple different taken bosses. The only way you'll be able to take down their shields is if you use the Izanagi's bird and sniper rifle. Once you do that, it'll be pretty easy to finish the rest of that mission. Open up a chest at the end, get another item that tells you that you need to complete all 4 forges with all of your black armor on, and then also the 3 main weapons being the hammerhead, the spiteful fang, and also this Tatara's gaze. So have those 3 on as well, and then complete all 4 forges, and once you're done you'll get a secret cutscene that looks like this.
Is that... You found it. Thank you.
You also get the Obsidian Dreams emblem as well, and that'll be the end of the quest for now. There are also secret steps that will potentially coming in the future, but as of right now, this is what we have. So hopefully all of this stuff was really helpful for you guys. This is really everything that went on since this past reset, so I hope that you're able to get these things done hopefully pretty soon. Let me know in the comment box below how you're feeling about Niobe Labs and everything that came out this reset. Also let me know if this was helpful, and if it was, definitely make sure to leave a like and subscribe as it really helps the channel out. That's really all I have for you guys, so hope everybody enjoys their weekend. And with that, I'm going to talk to you guys in the next Destiny video. Thanks, I love you guys.
Destructive with this just like I'm Krillin, yeah. I'm presidential like I'm Reagan, yeah. I'm outer space, it's Armageddon, yeah. And take a ship above the